right, I'm going to share my screen with you.
Sure.
Okay, so we have Arabella. When's your birthday?
My birthday is March 5, 1995.
Mm-hmm. And what time?
5:36 a.m.
All right, and where?
I was born in Boise, Idaho.
5th of March, 95, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Arabella. So, career. Great.
Wow.
Let's
A
begin.
big one for me.
Why so?
My career?
Yeah.
Because I want it to be. I wear many hats. I have done everything I could want to do as a career so far. What I always wanted to be was a rock star, which I just kind of always was, but specifically to make healing music for Earth, for the city I live in, wherever that may be at the time. And I love science. I have been a chef, an award-winning chef. I have, when I, so I grew up in Japan actually from the years 10 years old to 20 years old, wanted to be a sushi chef. So I had the honor of learning how to do that from people who knew because they were Japanese, they know sushi. And I like to say that my first job was I was a teacher's aide, I was nanny, I did a lot for kids, and then I made sushi, so I learned how to roll. I also learned how to be a ninja while I was in Japan. It was a silly course, but see, what it taught me was precision because I had to learn how to catch a grain of rice out of the air with chopsticks. I like precision. I think precision is very useful in any career. And so I use it as much as I can for myself. And also, I like to teach other people how to roll. That's rock and roll. I call myself a pixie punk pop rock star. And I make music based on what I want to make. And punk means a lot to me because it's this mindset. I'm creating the Punk's Guide to San Francisco right now by traveling all around San Francisco, finding places that deserve money, like mom and pop shops, artsy places where they create beautiful things. And rather than investing money in a place like Target, who told me, we don't like disabled people, we're not going to treat you well. Well, okay, then I'll spend my money where people do treat me well. Let me tell everyone who treats me well. And so that mindset carries into the music as well. I take songs that people write that I absolutely love. They've treated me well in that song, and I like their voice, and I add my own story to it. Sometimes I change up lyrics, sometimes I keep them the same. But the point is to elevate both the artist who already created the beautiful art and add my own voice to it. Now, because this is my lifestyle and who I am as a person, I've very recently been given a huge honor in the city of San Francisco, where there is a memorial to Martin Luther King Jr. And I was reading the words of the memorial, and as it should, it starts and ends with his words in gold. And in the middle, there's many plaques with transcriptions of things that were about protecting peace, though it came all from a lens of how men have done that. And I sat under this waterfall where this memorial is, reading them out loud and adding the woman's story to it, just out loud, speaking it out. Now, when you speak in the direction of glass with water behind you and you're a vocal gymnast, as I am, your voice will carry, and it did. And I said these words: what could be more important then inscribing the woman's story here. And I said, well, careful deliberation with respect to the artist. And the park manager heard that, came down and talked to me and said, we would like you to do that. We have space for 2 more plaques. And I said, I would love to do that because there are a lot of Black women whose names deserve to be on those plaques, for they protected peace here. And I've been creating a new flag for America where there are Black stars surrounding the white stars, as Black women and men and all brown folk have protected this place and protected peace. And I'm a performance artist. I learned a lot from someone named Nona Faustine, who told her story about how Black women's wealth was stolen from their bodies to be used for white men at Wall Street. And that was a very sad story for the world to hear. But she told that story proudly, naked in the street, showing her body, saying, this is me and this is dignified, and you will not treat me like I'm not an object, I'm a person. She was wearing white high heels because women often wear high heels and work very hard to create wealth. And she was wearing shackles, which is very symbolic. And should she never have had to do that, she had a beautiful cape on. And SF MoMA, San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, took her photos. There's a exhibit called Reconstructing History, and it's a beautiful exhibit. And when I saw that, and I saw her, and I saw she died just a year ago, I said, you deserve to have your name on that plaque. And the next day, after I was thinking of all of these things, I was wearing silk. I was completely clean because I wanted to go under the waterfall, something I had done as a child at 10 years old. I'd found a waterfall in Japan. And I was just swimming and went under the waterfall and felt the power of the water and thought, I love to feel the power of the water. And I wanted to do that there. I wasn't even thinking of the day, but it happened to be Orthodox Easter. And I like symbolism. I was there under the water. I knew how safe it was to stand there because I am a master of physics and chemistry, and I could see with my eyeballs and feel with my hands how safe I was under the water. So I did that, and I brought a change of clothes. And I changed from my outfit full of water, just a silk dress of water. And I heard Nona Faustine's voice that she said, do this with me. Put your cape on and just be free. Be free, because I wasn't free. And she was. In many ways, she was free. But those moments of her performance art, she was not. And I got to do that there, wearing my coat. I had a towel on at first. But what I was wearing aside from that was telling a beautiful story as well. Because I was wearing many bracelets, not shackles. I was wearing many beautiful rings. I was wearing black socks that say Bombas on it with a queen bee symbol that I got a couple nights before on a Friday night when I served food. I created meals for Food Not Bombs and passed it out. And they gave me socks because I needed socks, and I gave many people socks because they needed socks. And those were the socks that I was wearing with Adidas shoes that I was given when I was walking the street. A man had given me medicine that was not what I thought it was, made me go insane. May I not do that again? Walk the street insanity with just a nightgown and a zebra coat. Well, that's not what I wanted to do, but how Nona Faustine was that? And what happened was I was taken to an ER when I asked that time. And they gave me Adidas black and white shoes that said in gold, "You're a superstar." Well, that was all I was wearing. Black and white socks, black and white shoes, me, a brown woman, and my black and white coat that I think I was just wearing. Maybe not. Now, this coat I've gotten death threats in. May people not say that to me again, thinking that they can tell me what I can and can't do. Well, my mantra is no one tells a whale shark what to do, including the man who already said I could write plaques and then decided to say, "Show me your," well, you guess what he was asking me to show. And I said, no. That was the only man who said anything disrespectful to me that day. What a leap and bound we have come from when Nona Faustine stood in the street, because I was free. And I said, no, the purpose of me doing this is so that everyone knows a woman's body is not an object. Everyone knows what they know. We all know that. A woman knows how to respect herself. And I was going to respect myself, even if I was standing there, changing into an outfit, as I did. And I had a whole outfit after that, full clothes. Got to go in the museum, was given that as a gift to go in and take my photo with Nona Faustine's photo. A woman named Nadia took my photo, which is special to me because that was my mom's video game character. So it was like she was taking my photo. And speaking of careers, I have a very, very important career that I had. Aside from everything else I've done, I was a valet driver. Now, I was a very foolish valet driver working for a company called Tesla. Some people have heard of that. Well, Elon Musk decided to study me under a microscope, figuratively. I did that first. I knew who I was. He knew who I was, specifically. He chose me, specifically, to do him a job that I did not choose to do, which was kill him. No, you do not tell me to do that. And he didn't. He didn't even ask. In a daze of ketamine, he ran in front of my vehicle and tried to make me do that to him. I slammed on my brakes because I'm a kind person who will not do that for someone else. No. And it paralyzed me. It gave me a specific condition called hemiplegic migraines because in the past I'd had a history of concussions.
Wait a minute.
Called,
like this is for real, right?
Yes, this is all real. I'm not making a single word up.
Okay,
I had a history of concussions.
Worked for Tesla in California.
In California at the Fremont factory. He chose me specifically. He gave me the honor because I come from the Ames family. Everyone knows the NASA Ames if they know, right?
Sorry, who's the Ames family?
The Ames family is a NASA family, a Boeing family, an Air Force family. We did a lot to build America.
So how are you connected to them?
That's my family.
Like that's your parents or your aunts and uncles?
Yes.
Okay. And they're the founders of NASA, Boeing, and
they're not the founders of all of that. They're just so there's like the Ames. They've worked with NASA. NASA has given honor to the family for buildings. There's like a whole Ames Research Center or something. I can't remember all of it off the top of my head, but there's we've worked for NASA, for Boeing, going back, spanning way back through history. If you look at the Ames family, they have done a lot of building aircraft for America and also building a lot for America. I think
okay, wait. I want to get back to the story with but so you grew up around airplanes, is that right?
Yes. See, my it was my stepfather was in the Air Force. And he had a specific job that, well, he had top security clearance. Now, I'm not going to talk about his stuff too much because that's his job. That's his career. But I did observe from his career. I did learn very much because I like to learn. And he taught me that I liked to learn that much. And, well, the military will teach you everything about OPSEC, Operation Security, and learning. They want you to know that. They want everyone to be safe. Well, parts of the military want everyone to be safe. You see, they do also war.
Okay.
But I learned a lot about who I was from being raised in the Ames Academy. I went to military schools and then I went to the Ames Academy. I'm very proud of the fact that I learned as much as I did because I had these lofty goals. I wanted to create an intelligence agency. Did that. That was easy. And everyone in my life was saying, you can't keep a secret. Well, everyone learned that that wasn't the truth, including Elon Musk, because he chose me to have top security clearance for his work and drove. I was the driver. I charged these vehicles for the employees. And then he decided, actually, what I want you to do is drive business meetings around where they're going to talk about business in the meeting. We know you're going to keep that to yourself because we've observed you here. We know how you operate. We know that you're respectful. They told me that. They spelled it out. And I did that. I kept their secrets. This was in 2020. They were doing a lot of innovating at this time. And I'm not going to say what they were innovating because, like I said, I know how to keep a secret.
Okay.
I don't know what, well, I do know. I do know why he chose me in that moment because I'm a kind person. He thought that I was going to give him a quick and easy way out. He didn't want to face his shame.
He wanted you to kill him.
He walked in front of I will explain exactly what happened.
Okay.
I had a turbo diesel Beetle. Black. All black with lights on it because I'm a safe driver and I have the whole lights on. Now, it's a well-lit place. It is his factory. He knows exactly where he is. He slept there on the couch every night. He knows exactly who I am. He chose me for this job. He chose me to do what I did. Everyone likes to come talk to me about how I'm a beautiful model. That's none of your business. Tell me everything about my body. No. They did that. It was annoying. Oh, wow, you've lost so much weight. Oh, you're this, you're that. Everyone knew who I was there. I was nice. They liked to come up and talk to me. I charged the employees' cars. I knew the secrets of the employees and I didn't share them because they were there to work and I was there to work. I just wanted to keep myself fed. And it was a very hard time in 2020 to keep myself fed. And when he was in a daze of ketamine, ran in front of my vehicle. I had to slam so hard on the brakes to make sure he did not die. And he's in all black. Of course, I recognize the CEO of the company I work for. I flabbergasted. Why would you do that? Now, I had a problem with my own self dealing with suicidal feelings, which I got to a point of really trying to work through. I want to be alive. I want to be happy. Now, at this stage in my life, I am. I love being alive. I love happiness. I love silliness. I love the earth. And at that time of my life, I was not going to do that for someone else, let alone me. And when he was making that choice, it was also going to take away my own life. What do you think is going to happen to someone with all my conditions? Well, I know my conditions. He knows my conditions. He knows who I am.
You have medical conditions or what?
Yes, I do. Many. I'm disabled. I am on disability. The government gives me that now because I had to show them that I was disabled. And the reason why I got so disabled was because I slammed on those brakes. Now, I was going to say I had a history of concussions that were mostly accidents on my behalf. There was something that was not my fault. And then there were a bunch of accidents. And I called myself concussion girl when tragedy strikes me in the head. And it said that in my notebook, which I brought to work. Now, did he know that? Who knows? He knew my medical history enough from any of the research he did when he knew that I had a workers' compensation case. You hire me, you're hiring me with something specific to do. You're not going to not know who I am. I had a whole security clearance thing I had to go through. They knew that. And in that moment, when he put himself in front of my vehicle, if I had just hit him, it would have been the end of my life, regardless of whether that was because I hit my head on the steering wheel or the airbag or whatever, what have you, could have happened. I would have probably gone to prison. That would have been pinned on me. He had the money and the power. But none of that was why I didn't hurt him. The reason why I didn't hurt him was because I'm kind. And what would I want someone to do if I was accidentally on too much medication and having weird thoughts? I would want someone to be kind to me. And I decided very long ago, it doesn't matter how someone else treats me. I know who I treat me, and I know who I treat others. And that is nicely, kindly. So I said, slam on the brakes, slam, whiplash my body all around. And now the condition I gave myself from that, partially paralyzing, and it paralyzes half the body at a time, including the lungs and the tongue, including my brain. Well, the left side of the brain is the limbic system and the emotions. The right side of the brain is the cortex, all of my decision-making skills. Either side is not good. Now, I'll admit, sometimes I have very much fun when the right side of my brain is down, because it's just like being a kid before I developed all those muscles. And I was a genius when I was a kid. So I can do a lot. I call myself the lobotomized genius, and I have a song about it. I love it. Unfortunately, I didn't remember who I was, and that song reminded me. It's got lyrics. You're the lobotomized genius. Are you having fun? You're the lobotomized genius. Playing in the sun. Well, the sun paralyzes me. So I needed that reminder, and my brain was lobotomized but genius enough to give me the reminder of who I was. And you see, I did something intentionally my whole life, reverse engineering amnesia to reverse engineer consciousness. And Elon Musk really likes this whole consciousness theory I have. I don't know how much he knows about what I know, but I do know how much he experiments on brains. Learned that Neuralink. He didn't do that to me as far as I'm aware. But far be it from me to know what happened to me at some point in time, because I was experimented on by the military. And that's why I said, well, if you can do that to me, I can do that to me. I love Madame Curie. let me be her, let me give healing to this generation. This generation needs to know her story, and her story is Mother Earth's story, the woman's story, my story. And what is my story? That I've been in pain my whole life, walked around the street yesterday, right brain paralyzed, thinking I could take my medicine, but I just wanted to say, you know what? No brain, all pain. Well, that's loyalty to me. Pain has never left my side one day in my life. I know she's not going to leave me. I'm going to be okay. Overthinking too much. I'll just have a little time to my pain in me. Now, that was very silly, and I needed to take my medicine, and I did eventually because I know how to medicate myself. And that is why I give myself the honorary doctorate that I gave myself. I studied neuropsychology, I studied psychiatry, I studied lupus, which is something that I have. I learned from Selena Gomez about lupus, and then I learned all about it. I watched House a lot. I studied from books. I have ADHD. I didn't want to pay college to fool me around. I already know that I'm too dyslexic and ADHD for a regular college. So I said, let me be my college. My mom taught me to do hard things. I was, as a teacher, reading 30 books a month. That was one book a day. I could do that at that time while still teaching. And so I thought, well, I can't do hard things. I can learn, and I can learn medicine because I need to learn my body to heal it. And when I was a child, I thought, if I'm going to have this intelligence agency, well, what if I get tortured? I need to understand pain, and I need to understand healing. And I thought, well, pain's inevitable. Let me not give myself any extra. It's just going to be when it is. But when I am in pain, let me heal myself. And I was writing books at the time. I wrote that as well. Pain is inevitable, love is not, which is another reason I said, no, I am not going to kill someone else. Excuse me, you can't tell me who I am. I would like to be kind to everyone, which I already decided about myself.
Okay. What is your relationship to astrology? Meaning,
I love astrology and astronomy. I was a sailor, and I learned that the stars lead the way. I have a daughter named Estrella. She is a puppy dog husky, and a son, Adonis, the other husky twin. They came from different places, but they both met up with me. And when I was sailing in the sea, I learned a lot about cartography, learning where you are based on landmark and star. And that's something about myself. I learned who I am based on landmark and star too. I had a friend growing up that loved it. And I thought, well, you can't put me in a box and tell me I'm Pisces, that I'm like every other Pisces. There must be enough that we're not all the same. So I studied it and realized, oh, well, there's different signs for every single planet. And so I have good and bad traits from each. I'm being taught Pisces, there's good, bad traits for Pisces. Do I have those? Well, for the sun sign, yeah, I think that does represent me. And can I learn that I want to lead myself to the good traits of it? Yes.
okay,
And
I want to
so
point
that's
out
my
something to
relationship.
you, maybe.
Sure.
Okay, good. So you're very open to learning, right? Because you've given me a
Yes.
lot of information. Now I want to reflect some of it back to you.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Let's start with, let's start with these. Okay. So what I want to point out to you is, in the first place, that your Sun and Saturn are exactly conjunct at 14 degrees Pisces. Okay. And
Yeah.
planets that are conjunct the Sun are very important because they take over your life and your identity. And it becomes like you're very Saturn focused in this case. Okay.
Right.
Let's talk about that. First of all, you're a disabled person.
Yes.
and half of your body is not working half the time. Did I understand correctly?
You did. It's actually a little different than that. It can be all the time. Since the 11th of February, I have been constantly dealing with these, though I medicate myself to keep myself upright and stable. Right now, I'm not paralyzed at all because I've medicated myself. But there we are.
Okay. So that you also have to take medicine, and for you, life is just not that easy. Like you're
Sure.
in pain all the time, right?
Yes.
There's constant obstacles just being in your physical body, and not just now, but for your whole life. And also
Mhm.
not understanding what's going on in the body. So constant, right? That's the Pisces. So you're
Yeah, at first
constantly
I didn't
facing the situation.
understand. So I dove deeply into that to understand it. Yes.
Exactly. Right. And the other part of that is like, first of all, growing up with a family that is in top military security clearance, right? And you
Hmm.
also going to the Ames Academy and going to military schools, I'm guessing those are much different from regular schools. I guess
Much
there's more
different. Yes.
discipline there. I guess you
Yes.
have to behave much more there, right? I guess there's
Yes.
okay, so there's the Sun
Yes.
Saturn. You get it? Do you see
Yes,
it?
I do. I see
Okay.
it.
Also, because
I
you
am
said that you
blind, but I see that.
oh you are, but you can see the screen.
I
Okay.
so
Even
if I
that,
am close, I can see. Yeah.
okay, good. So even that, the sun is the light, right? So it has to do with
Yeah.
vision.
It does.
And in
Yes.
your case, it's conjunct Saturn. And so you don't see very well, right? It's in a
Hmm.
water sign. So things are murky and blurry.
And I love that. May I tell you a little bit about how I love that?
Okay, sure.
I I bought a lot of glasses at once because I thought that was smart. So they broke all at once. And that was smart because I've been walking around this city and I have an astigmatism. So I feel like it's like 18 versions of the same light all in a helix. And it looks like I call them firework flowers. Gorgeous. And when I drove, I'd have to have my vision corrected. But now I can no longer drive at all. And so I have the pleasure of walking around without glasses if I want to. It's so beautiful to be a little
Uh-huh.
murky sometimes, actually.
Okay. Okay, good. But I guess you have to also like squint to see things, or sometimes they're all
Yes.
just kind of like you don't see things clearly. They're kind of like colors merging, moving around.
Yes. Though I am an artist, like first and foremost, physical painting, 3D art, 2D art, um, watercolor, acrylic oil, whatever I can get my hands on. So I know color very well, but my depth perception is not that great.
Okay, there's also the Sun Saturn Pi, right? Because Pisces is all the different colors and how they blend together and
Yes.
how you make new colors and okay, working with watercolor. Okay, the other part with the Sun Saturn, sailing.
Yes.
Yeah, being on the water for long
Love
periods
it.
of
Love
time.
it. Love it. Love it. Love it. I
Okay,
have been land sick. In fact, non-Orthodox Easter, I went to the pier. I didn't have anywhere else to go. Unhoused. I was walking all day as performance art saying that I am Lady Liberty. We are in America. We are already free. And it is not going to be constant, whatever I said earlier at colonization station. No, we're free here with free will. That's the American dream. My ancestors moved here from Germany as Jews intentionally. The other ones were uh, Scottish warrior royalty family. The other ones were Persian royalty family. We all know that if you're at the top, royalty serves everyone, not hordes like people here have been doing. We have free will to say there is a constitution and that is what is right. Now, not right enough to take land away from indigenous people. May we not do that? We know better. And everything in my life is about learning and growing and being better. And so my philosophy is let me teach that to everyone else. Heard about a rape academy last night. No. Welcome to the Ames Academy, everyone. We do not do that. For I learned that it was intentionally being done to me because I saved Elon Musk's life. And no, you are not going to keep me on the street where you said you signed an NDA and I will silence you. You may not talk about my company. Let my company take pictures of you and laugh, for I watched them do it to me. And they gave me STDs while I'd never given myself one before. But what am I going to do? Paralyzed on the street.
Oh, hold on. How did they give you STDs?
Paralyzed on the street, raping me. Horrifying. Okay. And so I said, no. I'm going to teach America no is N-O. Let me spell it out.
Sorry, you were actually being raped?
Yes.
By who?
Well, I'll tell you, his name was Santo at Fresco's that time. There were many people who did this since the 11th of February. The reason I am unhoused, I am in a beautiful hotel that I was gifted today. But the reason I'm unhoused at the moment is because when I was working for Music City as a musician who was brought in and going to school there, invited to make videos with them. And I was working 5 hours a week because they know I'm disabled and calling me daughter, letting me nap on the couch, having a migraine. Allow me to get raped there and tell me that that man was not acting crazy, not going to kick him out. No, I will leave. He admitted it and it was on camera and they wouldn't kick him out. Well, I wrote a whole song about it. I'll sing that song to the whole world. Because that's not how you treat a woman, and that is not how the world will treat anyone anymore. Not under my watch. And my watch will be whatever I decide. I have lots of little ones, and I put them on my ring finger, the rings, little pocket watches. And if I put a big watch here, whatever I watch, and I will not watch people hurt people. So I decided something even bigger than everything else I've already said, that I will be going to Gaza. I will not be watching that genocide. No, I don't need to live longer than whatever I live. I will go march right up. The sea will take me there directly, and I will help them be free. I said, everyone come with me July 17th. It's a music video. It's performance art. Who would like to save Palestine with me? I have the biggest ego because who's going to tell a whale shark what to do? They taught me that. I was allowed to swim with them in Okinawa, Japan, and I said, let me not do that right now because I know enough about my body to learn that your body and my body are not ready to swim together. I have respect for us. And they respected that. I learned telepathy with animals. I was in the sea the other day as the Pisces that I am saying, you know what, Trump, you want to be a dictator? Well, dictate this. I'm the empress of me. And I'm the empress of the sea. And the sea said, are you going to say that to me? And I said, I want to know who my allies are. And if you're an ally of the sea, because I want to heal the Mother Earth, then make yourself known to me. And the animals did. I learned telepathy because I was experimented on in the military. That's called the MK Ultra program. And my name, Mackenzie Arabella Grayson. They said, let me trigger you with your own name. I said, okay, you want to MK Ultra me? I'll be the ultras of all the MKs. And I will hack your program to heal all the MKs. And that's what I said I would do. I learned the Gateway program. Well, I will be the gateway to healing for Earth. How about that? You didn't consent for anyone. No one consented for us to get our brains experimented on as children. That's not how consent works. I said, well, anyone who is an ultra, if you want me, since they've taught me telepathy and they've taught me trance and music, I didn't think that was healing, but it is. So if you're going to teach me that, I will learn well and teach others. Heal yourself with music.
Mm-hmm.
So am I crazy, or are all the animals already doing what they're doing in Israel? All the bees, who I specifically told, look, the bees, you guys deserve Earth. We're not going to get bees extinct. They said, we love you because you know that. They let me take their photo. You got to ask. They're fast, guys. If they want to not be seen, they will, because they don't want you knowing their business. That's a bee's business. And everyone knows what a bee and is. They will sting you. If you want to be stung, you'll do what you do. Not me. I don't want to be stung. I learned
Okay.
that.
So, okay, interesting. There's a lot.
There's a lot.
Okay, so again, that you were experimented on as a child, right?
Yes.
Sun, Saturn. But the
Yes.
square with Jupiter is the scientific experiments, right? Because they're trying to understand new things, so they're always pushing you. And do you get that connection between that? It's exact. They're all at 14 degrees. So that makes me think
Yes.
about you being and living as the experiment. That is like a huge part of
Yeah,
your life and
it
ongoing.
is.
Okay.
Yes. And I
And also
decided,
that you
let me consent to that for me. So let me do that myself. So I kind of
okay.
took my power back that way. And I think that's very Saturn too.
Yeah, this square, I also feel like working with Elon Musk and being in that situation where he's also kind of experimenting on you and you're the
Yes.
valet, but then yeah, you get into this very challenging situation with someone so famous, with
Right?
someone so important. Kind of also makes me think about Pluto that is on your midheaven.
Yes. Yes. And talking about me getting into it with famous, I accidentally got myself online famous as a child, learned I could do that. And it was on a game called Toontown. Love this. Toontown raised me. Pixie Hollow Online raised me. Disney and their stories of turning pain, they took horrifying stories sometimes and turned them into beautiful stories. I experimented with that. I said, I like that. I like all these Disney princesses. I played these games and I carved out a name for myself. And there were rumors about who else played Disney queens like Selena Gomez. I don't know what I don't know, but what I do know is I know her energy of just a kind woman. And I did meet kind women on there. And you know what? No one stepped on my tail. They don't give you a tail there.
Okay, you have this thing with kindness,
I do.
and there I feel Venus on your ascendant in
Mm,
Aquarius.
yes.
Because Venus is very kind, and especially in
Yes.
Aquarius, that's the sign of the people. So it's
Yeah,
about,
that's me.
yeah,
I
exactly. So
created the United
righteousness.
People of Earth at the Palace Hotel.
Okay,
Woodrow
so there you
Wilson
can
created.
see the square with Venus to your moon in Taurus, right?
Yes.
Okay, the United
And
People of
that's
Earth.
like, yes. So Moon and Taurus, like comfort, healing, like healing food, being somewhere. I
Being a
decided,
chef.
yeah, I decided, well, I don't, did not become born to be comfortable. I love comfort, but far be it from me to act on a way where my comfort exceeds my dignity and decency. And no, I decided no one can take away my dignity. You can't rape that away from me. No, you can't take that away from me. And you were going with the Venus and Moon being, what we say, square or conjunct.
Square. Well, you can see because you talked about the Mother Earth several times.
Yes.
So there I feel the moon and Taurus coming up very much.
Oh, I proposed to her so many times, but I'm the amnesiac queen. I reverse engineered amnesia. I forget everything. And it's intentional. Sometimes you need to forget something to not
Okay,
have
so
it in your
see,
brain.
there is the amnesia again. It's your sun, Saturn, and Pisces. Because Pisces is the
Yeah.
loss of memory, for example, right? Never really being
Yes.
straight.
Yes.
Yeah, so that you're
And it's also
constantly
intentional too, right? Because I told you of this intelligence agency. Well, I only needed one operative because I realized that was safer to protect other people. Why do I need to get other people involved in my business? And so I said, well, if I don't know anything, I'm not spilling secrets. And if I forget, then no one can get it out of me.
Uh-huh.
So it's
Okay.
intentional. But it's also not, right? Because I get hit in the head. And then what do I know? I forget. And sometimes I want to remember. I call cannabis forgetty juice and DMT remembery. That's also
Uh-huh.
the direction of movement of time and space, which I learned in my last lifetime. Now I know who that was.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here you can also see being part of the Ames family, which is
Mhm.
obviously like an established family. And so there's certain expectations from you, I guess. That feels like the Sun
Yes.
Saturn squaring Jupiter in the 10th, right? You come from a very reputable, highly known family that obviously
Yes.
has a lot of opportunities, lots of connections.
Yes.
And the other part of it is like, again, notice Venus is on your ascendant in Aquarius, and your family were making airplanes, right?
Yeah.
You have Boeing and right?
Yeah.
And so that's
Boeing,
one of the biggest
the Air
assets.
Force too. Yeah.
Okay, see?
And
Having part of
protecting people with that. Like those were, a lot of those were sent World War II, protective. Um, Now, I will admit what I feel I did in a past life, reminded myself my whole life who I was. I wanted to come back at a specific time because I feel great pain for having been a part of creating the atomic bomb. May no one ever bomb again.
oh my God, I get it. Okay, look,
Yes, you see?
um, Mars in your chart is retrograde in Leo.
Yes.
So that makes me think about you having created the atomic bomb in a past life.
And do you know who did that?
Who did that?
Albert Einstein. Above my door where I laid in Music City, it had a quote about how he always, his internal world was music, and if he hadn't done physics, he wanted to pursue music. Now, did I think that I was Einstein my whole life? No, I did not. That's some ego stuff that I like to be humble. I don't like to have. Now, in Toontown, you could have this small character or a really big head. And sometimes it's just fun to have that huge head and walk around and be like bobbling around, but I like to be humble. So I didn't want to imagine that I was someone who was as intelligent as he was. Though, hello, I have the intelligence I have. And I just kept naming different plants, Einstein, and then like forgetting. I had this Morse code song that I created when I was flying on the airplane into Okinawa. And when I read the Morse code back to myself today, it was saying, I am Einstein. Okay, well, I thought about it real hard. And who would Einstein want to come back as? Probably a hot woman and a rock star. It does kind of make sense if you think about it that way. And so far be it from me to tell Albert Einstein who he is. That's not my job.
So you're pretty okay. So Albert Einstein. Okay, there's more now.
And I called my dude, you can call me Al. I used to sing that song, my song, because I named myself Elena in Toontown. Had to spell it all weird specifically because it started from World of Warcraft and I couldn't spell it the normal way. So I spelled it Alainnnah, Elena. But you could have in Toontown, there was filters and stuff because it's a kids game. My mom was giving me the pleasure of learning from games, and they were trying to keep it safe in this game where you can't tell people too much, so people would call me Al, and I loved that. I love the song You Can Call Me Al. So that was my nickname. Everyone called me Al as online. Now in real
Wow.
life it was the name that triggered me, so I way preferred the online name of Al. I never thought about it
Uh-huh.
in that
Interesting.
way. And then there's like this whole, I've had to, okay, so time and space, the direction and movement of time and space. Well, time is what it is. What we are is a record of time, and we can move on the record of time. If you know how to move on a record, you know how to move on a record. You are the needle and you move the needle. That is how a vinyl record works. We know that. And Albert Einstein learned as much as he learned about time and space and the direction and movement of it. And Arabella, little me, learned from him because I thought he figured it all out. I don't have to do extra work. I don't want to do extra work. It's like, let's stand on the shoulders of giants. That's a good idea, everyone. And so, even if it's just because I stood on his shoulders, and that's the reason he's my past life, I stood on his shoulders and learned everything he learned. And there were times where there was math equations where my teachers would ask me, I don't know the answer, and they would want me to do I don't fucking know. I don't know how to do the work. I just know that the math is math, and I know what I know. And I'd give the answer, and it would be right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I?
Sure.
So there again, there's the Sun, Saturn, Jupiter, and I'm going to point out something else as well, because these planets are both about mastery of Earth. Mastery of all the knowledge realms that are on Earth, right? Chemistry, physics.
Yes, I am a chemist. Physics.
Okay,
Yes.
so and Pisces, right? Because what do you do in chemistry? You combine different liquids, different mixtures, different things.
Yes. And Alton Brown taught me that.
Right? And you experiment.
Well, and I have to keep my body alive all the time. I'm doing chemistry every moment for every bite of food that goes in my mouth, every water that goes in my mouth, every like specific type of water. Yes, chemistry.
Do you see Sun, Saturn, Pisces, right?
Yeah.
Exact conjunction in your life.
Yes.
So it's constant for you.
It's constant, yes.
And it's also that you're a genius, right? Sun, Saturn, Jupiter.
Yeah.
You said you learned everything, and from Einstein,
I
right?
did. And actually,
go ahead.
I heard, and I take this with a grain of salt, as everything from my spirit guides is with a grain of salt. They said, we love Albert Einstein, for he was the first man to figure everything out, and you are the first woman to figure everything out. And I said, don't you tell me that no woman has figured everything out before. That far be it from me to think that that's the truth. And I don't think it's the truth. I think that they were just hyping me up, that maybe since Albert Einstein, I'm the next woman to figure everything out. Maybe, but I don't know that.
That makes me think about your moon and Taurus in the third house as well, because the third house is about study, learning, reading, writing, right? Talking, understanding.
Writing books. Yes, I'm an author.
Exactly. And your moon is in Taurus, and Taurus makes me think about the laws of the world, right?
Yes, and I think about the laws of the world, and I respect them and work within them. And I said, let me create new law. I will dictate this. Be kind to everyone. And it starts with yourself, and then it goes to Mother Earth, and then everyone and everything else. Everything is intentional too. Inanimate objects, that is a part of the I. They feel too, because I feel them. That is feeling. And I don't want to be mean to an ing. I am nice and kind to everything. Now, my niceties have worn off. I have to be mean is mean. Mean is the middle. I'm the mid. I'm brown. I'm in the middle of everything. I'm intersex. Did I choose that? No. My body is what it is. I'm a woman. My body is woman. But my chemistry is both male and female. And I didn't choose that. I don't know if the doctors chose that. I think my body chose it. And I think I know why. Because my father was bullying my mom about wanting me to be a man. Well, no one tells a whale shark what to do. If I want to be a man, I'll be a man. If I want to be a woman, I'll be a woman. I'll be everything. I decided I am. I'm anything and everything.
Okay, I'm feeling the retrograde Mars there again. And okay, the Sun, Saturn, I feel like you didn't resonate with your name because they were using it to trigger you again and again, right? Because the Sun is identity, and how long it took you to establish identity because of that, right? The Sun, Saturn conjunction.
Yes, and actually someone recently gave me the first time I felt so happy to hear my name. Their name is Victor, and that is no coincidence, for they were a victor of their own actions and how they treated me respectfully, which is why it made me happy to hear them say my name. They gave me victory. They gave me my name back.
Okay, I want to reflect just a few more things. Again, Venus on your ascendant in Aquarius. that you're
Yes.
so about kindness to everyone. Be nice to
Yes.
everyone. Everyone work together. And also your love for the bees, by the way, right? Because the bees are buzzing. They're a community, right? They're in air. They're flying.
Yes, community, united people of Earth. Yes.
Yes, there's the Venus and Aquarius again, of course, squaring the
And
moon,
the
the united
Mother Earth
people of Earth.
story. Yes. See,
Okay.
Woodrow Wilson created something at the Palace Hotel that was essentially the same thing, became the United Nations eventually, if I remember correctly. And I believe he's an ancestor of mine as well. But either way, I'm a Williams and a son. I'm a Will son, if I will to be a Will son. And I will to have the united people of Earth be kind to everyone and everything. Because I decided, and my brand is Empress Arabella, because that's my stage name. My songs are all about this. That I decided I'm going to be the Empress of everything in my reality and treat it kindly. And then Mother Earth, who I proposed to a million times, and she gave me, I said at the beach, may I marry you? And then I walked down the corner, and actually a little further down the corner, but still at the water, a woman who certainly didn't hear me just gives me a ring with many, many pearls. Well, I forget that. And then I get another proposal from the from the ocean. That happened a few times, I'll admit. From the wind, I have a whole song about how much I love her and how she's my fiance now.
Okay, so that's interesting. Do you see how Venus on your sun in Aquarius, you love the wind, and then the square with the moon and Taurus in the third, you keep proposing and being in love and talking to the earth and all the elements of the earth.
But see, she keeps proposing to me too. She said, look down at your fingers. Look at the rings I gave you. This one specifically, the purple one, I had one from my sister that was a circle, an oval, and I loved it because my sisters, I love them. And then it fell off. I knew where to get a new one that looked just like it. I went to that store and it was gone, but they had this one, which is even cooler because I always talk about consciousness, right? And how consciousness, well, think about the ocean. The ocean is what it is, and when it evaporates, it becomes an individual raindrop, right? And that individual raindrop is an individual, like I'm an individual. And when it falls to the ocean, it is still the ocean. And me, I was laying in bed one day, have lupus where my cells fight each other. My cells decided to give me a dream where they were praying to the god of Arabella to treat Arabella better. I said, let me do that then. What am I doing treating myself poorly? No, let me not do that. I am the goddess of Arabella. I have to be. And everyone should rule themselves kindly in a way where they understand. I had created a whole religion because, see, when you have your medical stuff worked on all around you and they say, what's your religion? I say Arabellan. Only Arabella gets to worship Arabella because everyone else needs to take care of their business.
Oh,
And
interesting.
I
That
need
makes
to
me
take
also
care
think
of me.
about rabe, like anger, like rebel,
Yes.
and a few other things. Hold on, I just have to move locations. Hi, Alex.
Sure.
I'll be in I just need to get the. And then also that you're known as Arabella. Bella means beauty, right? Beautiful. And air is like air. So there's your Venus and Aquarius on the ascendant.
Yes. What happens when an air
Bella.
meets a bell? It rings. And may I ring the Liberty Bell as much as I ring. And era means a lot more than that. It also means now, and I will ring that bell now. And now it will be beautiful. That's what Arabella means. I'd tell anyone that. My grandma created that name from Isabella and Ariana. I love Ariana Grande. She knows how to sing. No one tells her what to do. She says, I see it, I like it, I want, I got it.
Yeah,
However
and
she
you
sings
love all
that.
the women as well. Again, the Venus on your ascendant. Okay. I'm just aware that we went a little, I mean, who cares about time? Time is time. But
Time is time.
I'm gonna just stop here for now.
Sure.
Okay, good. So, what did you think about that?
Excellent. I had a great time. I got to share a lot of stories. I think it's also a teaser for I'm a fascinating person. Someone told me the other day, you're interesting. I was like, yes, I am. People might want to see more might get them back to your show because you're going to bring more interesting people on, right? Maybe they want part two. Who knows? It might bring them to my life, like to hear my songs. That'd be cool. Yeah, I think it's great.
The question, did you feel like you understand the astrology a bit better yourself?
I have, yes, both deeply studied astrology and both forgotten everything I've forgotten. So everything you were telling me resonated with things I've already learned and gave me an added depth to what I know. I do feel like I learned.
Great. Very good. Okay. I'm going to stop recording, then you and I can chat for a couple minutes, okay?
Sure.
Okay. Very good. So, Arabella and I are signing out.